So guys, this oil line right here is what's been bothering me a little bit. It looks real dry rotted, and I just think I need to change it out. So I'm going to get to work on doing that. Maybe we'll make one or purchase one. I know you can buy them, but let's take it off and see what we got first. I got her loosened up a little bit. Put a rag under there. I don't know how much oil I'm going to get out here. This should be full. I'm not getting any oil out of the line. Well, the line just broke in half, so I'm glad I'm replacing it. So I'm not real positive how these canister filters work, but I'm pretty sure the oil comes in here and then comes out lobotomy and back into the oil pan through that line there. So let's take the lid off and make sure there's oil in there even. Okay, so there is oil in there. Hope you can see it. Smells a lot like gasoline again. This truck has an electric fuel pump on it, so I don't know how the gas is getting in there unless the carburetor is really that messed up. But she seems to run good, so I don't know. I'll just change the oil out again and keep an eye on it. So forgive my homemade graphics here, but I made a couple drawings to show how I feel these oil filters work. It's pretty simple, really. I mean, the oil comes in the top through the filter element, down the return hole, and back into the oil pan. And when the engine's shut off, the oil level seeks the same level as the drain hole and just stays there. That's why when I pulled the line off the bottom, I didn't get any oil out the bottom. You need that positive flow coming in for it to maintain the level above the drain hole to drain back out. One option I was thinking of and I came across this remote oil filter adapter. I actually think this is a fuel filter adapter from a truck, but if it doesn't fit an oil filter, I know they sell these remote oil filter adapters. Would it be better off to put a spin-on filter on that truck? I know it wouldn't be original. I don't know. Will it even work? Will a spin-off filter even work on this? Clean it up a little bit. Now, if these are anything like the ones on the old Jeeps, there's a hole in this tube, and I believe that's where the oil goes back down through and comes out the bottom. So let me put my, I don't know if I'll get this on camera or not. I don't know if you can see it squirting out the side there. It's not a real big hole. I kind of like the idea of that spin-on filter and eliminating this. It'd be a lot easier just to go out and buy a cheap filter. That cartridge that goes in here isn't very cheap. I think it's like $12, $15, maybe $18. I can't remember. I know I priced it and I wasn't real excited about the price. And it's not a commonly stocked item either. You have to order it. So I think I could actually mount this remote filter right about here somewhere, and it wouldn't be too bad. But I did a little bit of research on these, and I found the reason for such a small return hole in this style filter is it maintains the oil pressure in the oil gallery for your bearings and everything like that. So I don't really want to put the spin-on filter on because I'd have to put a restrictor in and do a little bit more work. It's not a big deal, but I think I'll just stick with this filter. If I were to convert it over to the spin-on filter, which I don't think I'm going to do now, I would always keep the old parts and let them go with the truck if I ever sold it, in case a new owner wants to turn it back into the oregano configuration. This filter that was in here was a lot smaller than the original one. This is the one I took out of the truck when I bought it. It was all rusted out on the top. And this one was in the truck under the seat. So I just assumed it was the right filter, and I didn't even compare them when I put it back in. But it's definitely a lot smaller than the one that was in the truck originally. Even diameter-wise, you can see it's way smaller. I'm surprised it actually even fit in there. But I think I'll just stick with this style, even though it's more expensive than a regular spin-on filter. I'll just suck it up and pay the price, I guess. So I decided to just go ahead and make my own line. I was thinking about using copper, but for some reason they had a flexible line on there. I don't really know why. I don't know if I need to, but I decided to just go ahead and use plastic. So I'm just going to use a plastic oil line, and that way it'll be flexible, easy to make, and get it done. Just going to come over and raid my pigeonhole, see if I can find some fittings to use. Looks like a good one there. Another good one. They got all the parts. Yep, good to go. I'm just going to go ahead and cut a piece close. Leave it a little extra, I guess. Nice about this plastic line is you can just cut it and it'll bounce right back. You don't have to use a tubing cutter or anything like that. Get one of the ends on here. So we're just going to build one up real quick, put the ferrule on. The insert, you need to use these inserts in a plastic line or else the ferrule will just crush the line. And also the ferrule won't even stay on. Basically all you do is screw it on there. Tighten it up with a wrench and let it crimp itself. Take it back off and it should be line good to go. That's good for this end. I'm just going to replace this fitting with this fitting, and that way the line's guaranteed to fit and everything will be good. Okay, the other side is going to go together the same way as the first side, with the exception of this protector I'm going to put on. If you watched my episode with the brake line, you know this is the brake line protector that I used on that. And the only reason I'm putting this on is because I think it looks cool. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and change out this fitting on the bottom of the canister too. Just going to wrap a little Teflon tape on it. Mount this back on the truck now. So the oil return line on the truck is a steel line, and it's kind of like this, like a brake line. 1/4 inch brake line. It's got the same style flare fitting on the end. So you can see here's the original line that went on it. So I'm going to have to use an adapter that has the same type of inside where it'll accept the male flare fitting Okay, I got the correct filter. I'm going to be using Shell Rotella straight 30 weight this time around anyway. But you can see how much smaller the filter that was in the truck is compared to the right one, the correct one. So I'm going to go change oil. We'll see what happens here. Okay, the oil's all changed. New filter's installed. Let's go check it out. Okay, go ahead. You can see we got pretty good return there too, so that's nice. Okay, I like it. Okay, there it is, all installed, tightened down. I could have made it a little bit shorter since I did have to make the adapters, but I think it's fine the way it is. Looks good. Hopefully it doesn't leak. Going hot. So I actually did go ahead and shorten that up a little bit. I didn't really like that turn that was in there. The less restriction you got returning that oil, as far as I'm concerned, the better. So I like it better now. Looks good. There's a bunch more shabby looking hoses on here too that are probably going to need replaced. Well, I know they're going to need replaced pretty soon. I'll get on that as well. I might end up making new ones for that too, or just buying them. I don't know. I'll figure it out as I go along. I'm not in any big hurry. Well, it's another job done. A bunch more to go, but I'll just pick at it slowly as I go. The weather is starting to break here in western Pennsylvania, and I'm getting anxious to get it back out on the road again, just because it's fun to drive. Even though it's hard to drive, it's fun to drive, if that makes sense. So, well, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye. Ew.